Welcome to So We Said Yes, the podcast where we share real, raw, and redemptive stories about people feeling prompted by God and choosing to say yes. From quiet nudges to bold relocations, dreams and visions, you'll hear firsthand how God is moving on the hearts of families, dreamers, and kingdom builders all over the globe as they feel called to Maury and Williamson County, Tennessee. I'm your host, Dusty Jenkins, and this is where faith meets action and obedience shapes legacy. So if you've been looking for a sign, this might just be it. Let's dive in. Well, I'm so excited to have our guests, Michael and Madeline with Ender & Co. We are going to just dive into their story and get right to it today. Thank you so much for your time today.
You're welcome.
I'd love to just hear. We keep getting, obviously this podcast is all about how you just experience this suddenly moment and, kind of feel called to this area. I think you said you were in Atlanta before.
We were, in Atlanta.
So he's obviously from England.
I'm from England.
I grew up in Nashville originally, so my family is here, but I've been in Atlanta for half my life.
Okay.
And we were not planning to be here. This literally God brought us here. It was pretty unexpected. We flipped a house. So we bought a house. We went through all the stress of the construction and, what that brings to a relationship. So our relationship was not in the best place. No. And we had a lot of missionaries coming over to our house, and we prayed about it. My friend had been out of work for a year, and she worked for the company that I worked for, but they'd let her go. And I'd been praying for her nonstop. And I was just kind of like in this, like, why me? Why did they keep me? Why did they get rid of her? Just like this guilt. And so we prayed for her. We prayed for us. And I was just feeling very stressed and stagnant where I was at in my job. I loved the job. It made great money. There was nothing wrong with it. But literally right as we prayed, I get a phone call from my friend, and she says, I just got a phone call. They hired me. They brought me back. And obviously we knew that was the Spirit because it was literally right after we had prayed. We were praying hard. And I was like, okay, let's go out and celebrate. Well, the next day I get a call and they're letting me go, which made no sense at all. Literally no sense. I was one of their top people. I had managers calling me going, I have no idea why this is happening. They didn't have a reason. It just was like, I'm like, why would you get rid of one of your top people? It just did not make sense. Their reasoning just didn't make sense. I was like, you know what? I'm not worried about it. God is orchestrating this. It's literally him.
Wait, so this is crazy. So here you are in this moment. She's a best friend or
best
just
friend.
Best friend.
Best friend.
It's fired from the job. You guys are praying. Please don't let they call her, say you got a job back, and then they let you go. You just trade spots.
We traded spots, and I'm like, you know what? I wanted her to have this. I wouldn't want anybody else to have this. And she'd been in tears for the last year about this. And it put me under stress because I'm like, I don't know how to help you. I want to help you. I don't know what to do. I had gotten her set up with a franchise because I was trying to get her a job during this time. So we're like, you know what? Let's look into this franchise. They didn't have a franchise open where we were at. So we're like, you know what? Let's sell our house. They've got a spot in Nashville. We'll move to Nashville. So we ended up backing out of the franchise, but we're like, we're still gonna go to Nashville. Like, this is where God is calling us to be, is Nashville.
Tell me more about that. Yeah, like, is this so was it mainly because of the franchise or just the timing of it? Or
it was the franchise because they didn't have a spot, which brought us to be like, you know what, we've been working on this house for the last couple years and we're almost done. The crazy thing is, our AC furnace, or I don't know what you call it.
HVAC, whatever.
Yeah, HVAC had been messed up the whole time we lived in the house. So we had to get it replaced before we sold the house. And the HVAC literally went out, and we got somebody out there to replace it. Well, we couldn't get the loan unless I had a job. This happened right before I lost the job. So we got the loan, we got it put in, and then literally a few days later, it was like all this fell apart, and I lost my job. So it was like none of that could have happened unless like that was done. So we got that done. We finished everything up and we sold the house, but it gets even crazier.
Yes, yeah.
So we put the house up as coming soon, and we get a message and they're like, somebody wants to see it today. We had been working with a real estate agent before that was like, you're not going to get what you want for the house, and just really discouraging. So I got a different real estate agent, and so we put the house up, we get interest, literally put the house on the market. They come in and they see it, and they give us a full price offer for the house for what we wanted, which was $30,000 more than our other agent told us that we would get. Turns out they're a youth pastor couple having a baby. They had been praying super hard for a house. They already lived in our neighborhood. They passed our house every day. And I'm just going, well, you guys prayed a little too hard, because we were not planning this. This is literally God's plan for them to have our house and relocate it. I mean, like literally, I'm just sitting there going, are you kidding me? Like,
yeah,
what
are the odds?
Yeah.
That like a youth pastor.
And they loved I mean, every detail that we put into that house, they loved. They even put the furniture the same way as we had it staged. And we wanted someone that was going to love the house, because we did pour our heart into that project. So we had then gone, okay, well, now we're going to Nashville. We can do anything that we want. We don't know what we're doing. We're praying about it. It's literally whatever God wants us to do at this point.
And he kept giving us signs to be here. So before we even moved here, when we decided, okay, we'll go to Nashville, we randomly started getting somebody else's mail from Nashville.
No ways. What?
Never received anybody else's mail out of the state, and then started getting mail from Nashville. And I was like, oh, okay, this is a little strange. And then every time I would pull up outside the house, I'm not a huge radio person, but every time I pull outside the house, having the radio on, coming back from work, our real estate agent would be on the radio talking. And it was so strange, because God just kept giving us these little signs that that's where you're going. You'll figure it out when you get there. But every little thing with that, then the youth pastors coming in and buying it. It could have been anybody, but of course it was some member from the church that was like, we're going to buy it. And then it literally led us to Franklin.
This episode of So We Said Yes is brought to you by The Awakened House, a business that believes in faith, legacy, and community, just like the stories we share in this podcast. If you're looking for an amazing coffee shop to meet a friend, a business partner, maybe a new acquaintance, The Awakened House has everything you need, with quiet meeting rooms, creative studios like the one we're doing this podcast in. They have an amazing food truck on site and a beautiful backyard where they encourage families to come and picnic and have time together. Even if you're not here to purchase a coffee, they want you to come and use the space. Community is what The Awakened House is all about. Check them out at theawakenedhouse.co. And let's get back to our story today.
And I told him, I was like, he has a forensic psychology degree. So him being in the business that I want to do is a big deal. Because I'm like, if I wake up every day, what do I want to do? I want to help people, because previously I was helping people move. But I wanted it to be almost like help just serving people. And I wanted to not only just help people move, but help people get their homes ready, help them pack. It's a really personal thing to be in somebody's home and like be a part of that process. So we just want to be there to finish projects that they've started, that like painting projects or fixing things up, just making it look ready to go on the market, like what we went through, and just helping them get through that process. Because even for us, doing it full time it's a lot for anybody. So I was like, people need this. I don't see anybody else doing this. It's kind of like a niche business, but we don't want to hire people. We want to be the ones in the house with people, getting to know their stories, getting to know who they are, and helping them through their transition.
Yeah. And we've noticed since coming to Franklin, the people that we speak to, a lot of them were brought here by God as well. So we keep going into our clients' houses, and they're very religious, and you can see that. And then it's such a strange thing because we wouldn't expect.
I mean, even down to the place that we moved to these apartments, and we have like an overwhelmingly large friend group there. We have a Whippet dog, and his name is Ender. So he's the name of our business, Ender and Co. He's like our child, but literally everybody that lives there has a dog. We've got a group chat called Cult of Dogs, and we just all constantly, are you going to the pool? Are you going? We have a dog park. We've got a trail you can walk on. I mean, and the people that live across from us, they're also Christians. We met them during that really bad tornado this year, in the hallway, and they were having a baby, so we went out and we bought them a bunch of baby stuff. I'm like, I don't know these people, but for some reason, God is like calling us to like go out and buy all this baby stuff.
Come
so
on.
we go over to their house, and they're like, oh my gosh, we literally have been looking for this onesie that you guys got for us. Like, I mean, we spent a pretty good amount of money. I don't know why. It was just like, God was like, you
This
need to
bless
do
them.
it. Yeah.
Come on.
I
Was it
mean,
their first child?
Yes.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, they're super excited. And he does roofing sales, and used to do like drywall repair, stuff like that. I'm like, if we can hire him for like, we want to hire him for our business, but it's just crazy how God puts all these people in your life and orchestrates it.
That's right. The dots that connect are just so crazy. Like when we moved out 2 years ago now, I just started like journaling it all because I just couldn't keep up. Like I was like, okay, God, I know I prayed for this, but like, slow down, dude. Like it was like drinking from a fire hose. So I'm like jotting down every little like random thing that I was just picking up. You know, like, oh, I feel like that's a God wink. That's a God wink. I'm like all these stories. And I started to see a common denominator. I'm like, every little dot that was connected involved somebody else's story. It wasn't really about me. God kept putting on my heart, like, no, I want this story to be about everybody that you're ending up connecting with. I mean, imagine we wouldn't be sitting here if I had said no and stayed in Colorado. This podcast wouldn't exist. So it's just so cool to see people being obedient in that, like, almost blind faith, if you will, you know, this radical faith.
It is blind
faith, yeah.
And some days I'm going, okay, God, am I doing what I'm supposed to be doing? Is there a lesson that I'm supposed to be learning? Am I just going to fall flat and none of this is going to work? And, you know, nobody's going to want what we have to offer. Like, you just don't know. And what we're finding is that there actually is a huge need for what we're doing. I mean, people are calling us, going through divorces and just like in turmoil, going, I don't know how I found you guys. Literally, I was thinking it. Your post on Facebook popped up, and it's like literally miracles connecting us to people.
How awesome too, in like such a really hard time in life, that having a faith-based company and couple gets to come in and not only, you know, be really personable and intimate with their belongings, but then have those opportunities where you can invite them to prayer and, you know, really just pour life back into their, you know, empty cup, so to speak.
Yeah. And really make their house a home as well. That's our goal, is to make, I mean, your home is where you spend the most time. So just making it feel good.
Feel good. But that God was just like, right now you're ready. Here's everything. Because we've been nonstop for the past week. And all from pray. Because before we prayed, but it was the right time to invite God into our business as well now. So every aspect of our life. So the minute we did that, that's when we posted the post on Facebook. And from that one post, I've not stopped for like 3 days, just messaging people messaging. And it's been, and like you said, it's like, he didn't give it us in like little increments. He gave us the path in little increments, but then when we gave him our blind faith, he just gave it all, like you said, like a fire hose. It was just coming at us from all directions.
Come on.
So
I love hearing that. Has there been a moment at all where you had to second guess the decision, where you were like, I don't think this is it, God?
Yeah.
yes, yeah, plenty of times. Like, because when we first got here, trying to set up the business, we had some setbacks, and that started to second guess everything. Because one setback was something happened and it put us back like a month. So we're just starting now second guessing. And when we had the money that we sold the house to survive on, and then you start seeing that dwindle down, and you're like, okay, this is what's happening, God. We're still trusting you, but it's coming close. And then it seems like he stepped in at the perfect time, at the right time, where it was like, okay, here you go. Here's the traction you need to survive, pretty much.
I do feel like we did get a good break, though. Like, God did give us a rest period before we started getting busy, because
Huge.
it is. And I had been working 6-7 days a week for like a decade. So I needed a break. And he wasn't allowed to work. We met on Instagram and during the pandemic.
Come on.
And we knew right away that we wanted to get married. So we like started the K-1 visa, and we're like, you know what? If it doesn't work out, we'll cancel it. But we knew it was going to be a long process. So it has literally been, just trial after trial with even our marriage, just because long distance for 2 years while that whole process was going on. He had to quarantine in Turkey for 2 weeks the first time he came to America, because the flights and closing countries and things like that. And while he was in Turkey, there was a chance that they could close the flights to America then.
So scary.
Yeah, but it seemed like even then before we met, it seemed like almost like God was doing something, because the way we met on Instagram, time difference, I was about to close my PC down, because we're huge gamers and things like that, and Twitch, and I was doing podcasts. And I was literally just about to close my PC down, and then I just saw this random little comment, and I thought, I know some information on that. I will comment back really fast. And that's when we started talking. So that was almost like a God moment, because it was like, oh, I only just saw this. And then during like COVID and quarantining, I didn't really have any issues traveling either. Like, it was hard, like going to Turkey, but it was like almost God was just giving these little pockets of just safe passage to where I needed to be, which was America to her. Like, and that was fascinating as well. I think that's when I started learning more, like, oh, God is, like, looking back, because we videoed everything because we were on Zoom all the time. Looking back now, it's like, okay, God did play a huge part in us meeting and getting us here to where we need to be.
He couldn't work for 2 years.
2 years, yeah.
So imagine being in a relationship like that. There is a lot of stress, especially while amidst remodeling, because I bought like a really big fixer-upper, and we would finish a project and I'd immediately start another one, and his eyes would be popping out of his head like, we just finished one and now you demolished the floors, or this is perfectly good tile, why do you have to take it up?
Yeah.
And
within seconds, we laid a new floor, and I'd turn around and she'd be in a closet pulling a shelf off. I'm like, we just finished the floor like 10 minutes ago. Why are we pulling this off?
I love that. Well, I want to go back to that moment of rest that you guys had, because that was also similar to us. Like, I had been, working 60-hour, 70-hour work weeks, just chasing this bonus, that I was like, oh, nose to the ground. I'm going to get us out of debt. I just kept telling my wife, just trust me. He's, it's promising all these things. It's going to be easy. And when we got to the fast forward a year of that hanging a carrot stick out, he's like, yeah, so we just barely missed the mark, man. So we're not going to be able to give you that. It was $100,000 bonus too. So it wasn't like short change. I'm like, dude, bro, like nothing. He's like, no. And the goal was to hit 3 million. And we were at like 1.2 in a year. We were at like 2.8. And I'm like, dude, we were so close. He's like, close isn't good enough, man. Sorry. And I was like, God, what is going on? And it was just this timing of things where then we were called out to Tennessee. And for the whole first year, it was just like quality of life went through the roof because we had entered into this like season of rest almost, of just being able to be present with my family, where the prior year I was like avoiding them almost, you know, trying to chase success. And it's just cool to see how God moves in those seasons. Also, the bank dwindled down to the point of, wow, am I gonna have to pay the mortgage with my credit card this year? Like, what am I gonna do? And it was just, again, we had an identity theft thing that we went through back in like 2020 or 2021, where somebody hijacked our return on our taxes.
Oh,
and
wow.
we're like, we just watched, we're like, I guess we'll never see that money. One day, like all of a sudden this check shows up in the mail, and it was from the IRS, and they're like, hey, we figured out what happened back in 2020 or 2021. And it was a huge chunk of change. We're like, God, thank you so much. Like, this really like
I was
blesses.
chills.
It was wild.
crazy.
Trust me, in that season, we're like, dude, we haven't bought this house, bro. We're gonna have to sell it already. Like, it was getting scary. So I resonate really with that moment of, you know, man, we felt called, but then you get here and you're like, oh, this isn't exactly easy.
Yeah, and the rest period was super nice, like, because it was just like Madeline said, she was nonstop, then remodeling, then coming here. God was like, just take a few months. Just the rest period. It was just, God was like, you need these 3 months to work on family, because you've been nonstop. So it was nice to almost like reconnect, because everyone's been so distant with just working and worrying. So that our rest period was awesome.
That's amazing. Well, I'm going to have you guys back on the show for sure to dive more into the story of even just how you met and what God's doing in your lives. And then all these homes that you're getting to come into and bless. I know a local cleaning company, and their heart is, you know, we're not just cleaning the surfaces. We're here to like actually pray while we're working and clean the atmosphere and like invite the Holy Spirit into your home. And like just meeting godly businesses like that has just been such a blessing out here. I definitely wasn't seeing that in Colorado. So anyways, I really appreciate your time today. I would love for you guys to just like, subscribe, follow, share, do all the things you're supposed to. And I'm still trying to figure out a legit outro. That'll come soon. This is all the 4th episode. Maybe I'll glean and learn from you in your podcast days. We'll go grab some coffee. So thank you so much.